What is your secret that you can't tell anyone because it will probably ruin your life? I just love how all of the stories here are either on September 3rd at 2:37 am I went to a truck stop and murdered someone in the bathroom, or my homemade cookies aren't homemade. I have no idea what I'm doing at work. I stopped working at work 1 year back. I have no idea what the fuck they want from me because I watch 12 hours of shows on my laptop and work for 30 minutes a day by attending a team huddle and staying on mute. 5 years before my stepdad died of Alzheimer's and leukemia, I noticed he was very quiet in the evenings when I visited him and my mom. I asked him, "Why don't you want to talk a bit more?" To which he responded, "If I don't say anything, I can't say anything wrong." I took it to mean that he was afraid of conflicts with my mom, and said that I would want to hear anything he had to say. After he died, I realized why he said what he said. I was at a lunch with them when he tried to ask me something but put in completely wrong nouns, nonsense choices. And every time he did that, my mom started laughing and said, "Ha ha ha, now you've totally gotten things weird." She didn't know she was being condescending because she didn't know he was getting advanced dementia. None of us knew then, and she just brushed his mistakes off as being silly mistakes. She couldn't know it shamed him so much that he stopped talking, since he didn't trust his words anymore, nor his sense of balance. I will never ever explain this to my mom, not even if I am super angry. I would do unretractable damage to my relationship with her. She mourned him deeply. Edit. To the heartless people insulting my mother over this post, she stood with my stepdad to the very end, sat with him in his room in the nursing home when he sometimes would scream for a half hour in mortal dread as he realized the consequences of his worsening condition. Those days would completely crush her. She suffered more than anyone I know have done, and also saw her own dad die of cancer in her youth, so you know nothing of her sacrifice. We buried him 2 weeks ago. I'm doing all I can to spend time with my mom at the cabin and cook great meals for her, do chores in the garden. My brother and his wife helps too. My 54-year-old secret would ruin several lives. My childhood best friend's little brother is actually my son, and his children are my grandchildren. Edit. Forget DNA. I'm also related. Already donated stem cell. No problem. I didn't stop doing martial arts because I was annoyed that they took in a kids group and we were expected to help coach them while still paying for our own classes. I stopped because fighting other men made me horny as hell, and that was not a context in which I wanted to interact with kids. And then I realized how fucked up it was that I was fighting other guys for my sexual gratification while they just saw it as fighting, period. So fighting on a whole kinda got shameful and disgusting. So I quit. You know what? I highly respect the fact that you recognized a kink in yourself, realized that it wasn't right to partake in it without the explicit consent of your partner, so to speak, or when it was around children, and chose not to continue. A lot of people would have just kept justifying it to themselves and digging themselves into a deeper hole, but you nipped it at the bud. That takes a lot of self-reflection and a lot of self-control. I hope you can find a safe outlet, if you ever decide. Edit. I should specify that martial arts fighting is not my kink, but thank you for your kind comments. And a general thank you to the people who reached out through my DMs to provide resources for safe kink. Even though I won't use them, it's very kind of you all to provide them anyways. Scariest motherfucker to fight is the one with a boner. We gonna fight or fuck? I'll be naked either way, I just need to know. I hid the extent of my alcoholism from everyone since I was 15. I'm now 35 and 8 weeks sober. No one knows I'm sober now as they've never known I had an alcohol issue. All my passwords are the same word with different combinations of numbers and punctuation marks. You can't trick me into ruining my life. But imagine the upvotes. There is no corner of my heart I would not lay bare for 5 points. I have a bad back and from time to time it goes into a full spasm. One day I was getting out of bed, and as my foot hit the floor I went into a full spasm. I have no idea how, but a perfectly formed turd fell out the leg of my shorts and landed on the floor. Due to my spasm, I fell and landed right in the poop. The commotion woke up my GF at the time, and she ran over to check on me. I blamed the dog. I've never actually told anyone this before. Oh no. Babe, come here. Someone shit in my pants. At Christmas, my family loves my homemade eggnog. It's just high-end store-bought eggnog and I put in 1 to 2 tiny pieces of eggshell to make it look like they were missed when I strained the eggnog. The fucking eggshell is psycho genius. I love it, ha 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 ha. I don't have any, I am incapable of keeping my mouth shut. I was once at a party for my nephew's birthday and really had to go. I noticed they had a basement bathroom, so while cake was being served, I dropped a deuce that could peel paint. I was able to sneak in, out without anyone noticing. Fast forward to after the party and my Sil and Bill were complaining about 2 other family members clogging the upstairs bathroom and stinking up the basement. They complained that the smell lasted for days after that and it had to be professionally cleaned. To this day, they blame the other couple to the point that they get angry discussing the topic. TLDR. I'm a mystery pooper. You're a party pooper. I fall asleep every night in horror because my former best friend and I haven't talked in 3 years because for her 21st birthday we both got massively blackout drunk and smoked. I have no idea what happened that night. But she's never answered a message I've sent since. Out of all the things I read so far, which is a lot, this is the only one that got any kind of reaction out of me other than the man with dementia afraid to speak. The story everyone knows is my boyfriend and I voluntarily left our place of work because our relationship went against policy, and we valued our relationship more than our crappy jobs. The truth is we got caught fucking in my car before work, and left in order to avoid repercussions. That I don't really have imposter syndrome, I'm actually a fraud. I'm 40 and my parents have no idea that I never actually graduated college. I went for almost 6 years and never felt like I really knew what I was doing. School wasn't necessarily hard for me, but I just couldn't bring myself to focus or be dedicated to it. My parents were super obsessed with the idea that everyone needs a degree to get any decent job, so there was a ton of pressure and dropping out wasn't an option. So, I graduated in a winter semester and decided not to walk the stage, since the December ceremony was always pretty small and I knew they wouldn't think that was weird. This happened to be during the recession in the 2000s, so I had an excuse for not finding a conventionally professional job right after that. Now, I actually have a really good job with a company that focuses on hiring people based on experience, skill, and personality, so it turns out I didn't even need that degree. But I will never tell my parents the truth. Edit. Dang, I did not expect this to get so many responses from others in a similar situation. Thanks for sharing your stories, I'm glad to hear that others were able to find their own way. Despite familial pressure. To those saying, now it's on the internet and no longer a secret, this is an old throwaway account and I specifically switched over to post this comment. Also, I am aware that people have murdered over this type of lie, yikes. But I very much love my parents and am also not a raging psychopath, so worries on that front. I have continued to use the Reddit app during the blackout period. I won the lotto. Haven't told anyone or changed my lifestyle. I'm still going to finish my degree in data science, so I can say my money is from a new job. Edit. Thank you for the kind words. To answer some questions. Winnings just surpassed the 8-figure mark. $10 on Quick Picks. Why would a DS play the lotto? Well, I'm not one yet, but just for shits and giggles every once in a while. Yes, I know the odds. But that 0.00000024% chance could be you, haha. My childhood friend has 2 siblings that he doesn't know exist. They're twins, around 2 years old now. I promised to keep it a secret. My dad and his dad are close friends. My dad is quite the gossip, and spilled every last detail to me. Apparently their father, handsome, tall, a sports prodigy, slept with a doctor who lied about being on birth control so that she could give birth to his children, who she claimed had superior genetics. She was his former doctor who pulled up his private records in order to score a date with him as she had all his contact info at hand. Never wanted child support or even a father in her kids' lives, just an involuntary sperm donor. Very weird. Once after a hookup a chick asked me if I would donate my sperm because I'm handsome and she wanted to be a single mother and I wouldn't be legally bounded or anything. I just laughed, made an excuse to leave, grabbed my condom from the trash and left. Upvoted for taking your dirty condom with you. I left my job at an electronics manufacturing company in 2002, but they continued paying me my full salary, including all incremental raises and annual bonus, until they offered me a very generous redundancy package in 2022 due to departmental restructuring, including an £85,000 lump sum contribution to my pension fund. I even got the quarterly magazine and annual Christmas card sent to me. In March of this year, 2023, I got an invite to the 75th anniversary of the company, went along, had a great time at the free bar, and nobody realized I hadn't worked there for over 20 years. You've got to love a good administrative error. Maybe edit your post and remove the dates and info, bro. Don't want anyone finding out. While I am genuinely happy to meet you, I have no intention of remembering your name until we interact at least 3 or 4 more times. After fleeing domestic violence and trying to make a new life, I was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. I'm fighting it, but I'm just so tired of life. My last baby turns 18 this week and I feel like I've done all I'm supposed to. I'm sick of being strong for everyone else when all I want to do is go. I'm just so damn tired. Edit. Wow. Woke up this morning to this blowing up. I can thank everyone enough for the kind comments, messages and overall support. I have somewhat a better outlook on things, at least for today anyway, suppose just one day at a time. I wish I could bless you all with awards and thanks, but for now upvotes will have to do. Thanks again, you don't know how much your kind words and thoughts mean to me. I sometimes have the strong urge to run away from my life, and start over. It may not ruin it but won't be good. I caught a guy #ping a girl yelling for help in a tent at a very loud bush party in my university days. I was drunk myself and I ended up blacking out with rage and beating him up with his pants around his ankles so bad that he was put in a coma for a couple of days. I never saw any consequences other than probably a broken knuckle. Nobody witnessed anything and I got off scot-free. The girl in the tent definitely wasn't going to say anything. From his Facebook it looks like he is a happy and healthy father of 2 now. He doesn't know who I am. But I think I came very close to killing someone with a rock caveman style that night. Edit. Thanks everyone for the responses. But violence is not the answer. Calling people out on their day-to-day actions before they are able to act something like that out should always be the primary action to prevent stuff like that from happening. Almost killing someone isn't something 20-year-old me thought he was going to do that night. I think I'm not as nice as people believe I am. I am just acting according to social norms when in reality everything outside my home makes me feel tired and drained. I play most video games on easy mode. Then brag about how I'm so good to my wife who doesn't know about games. One of my closest family members offered me sex during one of the most mentally unstable times of his life. I wasn't interested, nothing else happened, and the topic never came up again. One of the main reasons why I haven't brought it up in family is because his marriage is already unstable and I don't intend to make it worse. My brother is the product of a rape. My mom told me. I don't know if she told him. She's passed away now. I found out recently that I was a product of rape. It definitely sucks to have that knowledge. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. Please don't tell him. My cakes aren't homemade. I used to work for organized crime, but decided to leave. They tried having me killed multiple times, so I fled the state and go by a different name now. They tried having me killed multiple times, dang. No wonder you left. They aren't very organized. In Japan, heart surgeon. Number 1. Steady hand. One day, Yakuza boss need new heart. I do operation. But, mistake. Yakuza boss die. Yakuza very mad. I hide in fishing boat, come to America. No English, no food, no money. Daryl give me job. Now I have house, American car, and new woman. Daryl save life. My big secret. I kill Yakuza boss on purpose. I good surgeon. The best. Those cookies I bought to the company picnic were store-bought from a small bakery in town. Then I put them in my Tupperware. See you in hell. OPs as I use AskReddit to harvest blackmail material. I find it incredibly difficult to care about absolutely anything. Gotta fake it just enough so that people will interact with me. That I'm dying. Gonna sit on that one for as long as I can. Edit. Ooh, foolishly I just thought this would get buried in a Reddit avalanche, and there would be like, 2 flippant remarks. I better clarify a few things. Grimace first up. I'm real sorry I dredged up so many memories of people being on the receiving end of this. I don't intend to do that, I'll explain more further down. The deal is, I have HIV, have done for a long time, and though it was pretty gnarly at the start, it was mostly just annoying once it was under control. Last year though I started getting sick a lot, and, well, turns out my meds aren't working so good no more. Neither did the next set. And the current set seems like it's going the same way. Of course, there's a chance one of the meds coming up will work fine and I'll be back to normal. But as things stand, my out-of-control viral load and plummeting T-cell count probably put my lifespan in single-digit years. It's not as dramatic as a mere month stage 4 cancer diagnosis, and of course I still might wiggle out of it if we find a med that works, but yeah. It's a thing. Face with diagonal mouth is for the telling my loved ones, well, most of them don't know that I have HIV in the first place, so that's an extra sticking point. I didn't not tell them at the start because I was ashamed. It was more that I just thought that I would end up being the one doing the reassuring and educating, and honestly after surviving the early times I just didn't have the energy for it, and yes, I know that it's coming back to bite me now. But, aside from that initial awkward talk, I just don't know how long this will take, and the docs still might find something that works and I won't be dying at all, and then I'll have turned my life upside down for nothing. I won't let it get right up to the end without telling anyone. I just don't want to do it all for such a flimsy, maybe not. Especially when even the worst-case scenario will probably take years. I'll let them all know when the writing is properly on the wall, okay? I don't even know why I put it on here. I guess getting my dogshit bloodwork back last week before going to family dinners and listening to my siblings. Making all their awesome long-term plans just left me feeling a bit bletch. To those of you that said kind words, thank you. To those who said less than kind words, I'm sure you're still lovely most of the time. Play nicely with each other.